Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Jess and the Guest. My guest today is comedian Michael Lenoci. He's headlining all over the country. He's performed with some of the best comedians truly in the world. He is so funny. He's headquartered in Los Angeles. I don't even know if people say headquartered, but that's where he is. I think he's also the only sports fan I know in LA, which is very different from how I was raised in Philly. He is such a great guy. He has a million podcasts. We talk a lot about like the first years in comedy, whether it's writing, stand-up, how grueling that schedule is, how being on tour with Bobby Lee is. He's incredible. I really hope you like this episode.
I feel underdressed now.
No, it's like my first time actually putting on real clothes. So I was like, all right, I'm doing it. Like it's gonna happen. Podcasting was my nightmare. Like I was like, but I just don't know what to do. How do you do it? Tell me.
Okay, well, for starters, I'll tell you that, whatever you were thinking, saying nightmare, we all go through that. So I do that too. Thank you for thinking I'm good at podcast. I'm just trying to make something that excites me, to be honest. So like I was doing something at the beginning of quarantine because I used to have an older podcast and then that got old, so I stopped. And then I had one I started by myself, a solo one, which is hard to keep people entertained, especially when it wasn't necessarily a funny one. It was more of just like a self therapeutic one, I guess, for myself, just to keep me sane. And then that was like solo, but then that was getting old. So then I now found a guy to help produce it with me, and we're in a studio. So I just started 2 episodes of that, but it's still the same podcast, but a different format. But for me, it's just, you can't expect it to blow up like all these other big guys that have huge podcasts. You just have to keep creating and do it for yourself, and whatever happens, it's out of your control. It's got to be for yourself. I'm just doing it to keep myself entertained, and it takes up at least it gives me like 2 days worth of like work or doing something. I mean, booking it and then like getting the material for it, it's all like it makes it feel like you're not so much of a loser, I guess.
No, exactly.
I mean, some comedians don't mind feeling like a loser, but like we have so much time on our hands. So at least one podcast helps. But I feel I get the same insecurities that everyone else gets. Is this good? Is this entertaining? I don't feel like it's good enough. So I'm constantly nitpicking at things and not liking stuff and feeling discouraged. But I mean, it's better than not doing something,
Well, I think it's great. Is the orange chair gonna stay? That's my big question.
The orange chair stayed.
I like it. I mean, clearly.
I like it too. It's gonna stay because I have final say on that.
Yeah. I love the episode with, I love Craig. So he was just on here, and I could watch you and Craig talk all the time. And Mark, have you guys known each other forever? Or
for a long time, yeah. I mean, I met him when he first started. I think he's a couple years behind me, but I mean, basically same class. Like I've been doing it almost over 10 years, and he's been doing it maybe 8. Wow. So I met him like 2012.
Oh, that's crazy. So
I met him and I was just like, whoa, this guy's hilarious.
Yeah.
Right away, he was hilarious. I was like, bro, I mean, I wish I had what you had. That's not fair.
I've only ever seen you be hilarious. Like, were you ever bad? I know that's a weird question.
I mean, everybody's bad when they first start. You don't think that. I mean, that's why you keep going. You keep going because you think you're doing okay, but then you look back on it and you're like, whoa, I had no stage presence, I had no confidence, and then what was I even saying? I didn't even know how to write a joke or even riff a joke, and then I mean, you have to be a little bit delusional to keep going.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm doing good. I'm gonna keep doing this. Like, you know what I mean? You're like, I'm gonna go all the way. And you're like, whatever all the way is, but
my first 2 times on stage I like killed, and then I like bombed for like 6 months after. I was like so delusional. I was like, this is easy. This is fun.
I thought I did good my first couple times, and then I remember like looking back and like people are probably just like laughing out of nervous energy. Those like bringer shows in the beginning. That's how everybody does all those bringers shows in the beginning. Well, at least back when I started, and like that was the big thing. There was like bringer shows because comedy was kind of dead, and you just had friends and stuff, and people were just like supporting you, but like They were probably just laughing that you're on stage. Like, this is crazy.
I know. I know. At least you started
Everyone
with
else who didn't know you was probably like, this guy sucks.
at least you started in stand-up. I started in improv, so I wasted a lot of years doing improv. But I'm like, why did I do this?
Stage presence. I did an improv class. I did UCB right when I first got out here before stand up.
Yeah,
So I didn't start, and I enjoyed improv for sure. But it's just two different scenes.
yeah. You have great stage presence. Do you accredit that to being in a frat?
No, I wish I had that. I wish I had the confidence I do today when I was in college, and
I
then
know.
I held court, and then I would have I would have ran for president and stuff like that. No, I would have. I just, for me in college, I just was like there to have fun. For
Yeah,
me, I was like, I just want to party and have fun,
yeah,
and literally didn't take anything seriously. I just was like, what's the easiest classes to take to graduate? And
yeah,
that's what I did, and had no plan. So, no, I think the stage presence just comes from arrogance, like a stupid arrogance that I've always had. I've always believed in myself, so
yeah,
maybe that's why. And then now, I guess in the beginning it might have been overconfidence to make yourself seem confident.
yeah,
Like just like life stuff, like I always like you get little affirmations that aren't nothing like a trophy or something, but like you get little things to let you're doing the right thing. The universe sends those out. And then I yeah, I guess maybe I always was like part of how do I say this, like popular cliques in high school. So I always was around, like I always wanted to be around, like I idolized like the guy in high school who was like the jock who all the girls liked. Like my
mhm,
best friend was that. He was like a big muscular guy who like all the girls want. So he was like my best friend, but I was kind of like wanted that. So like I would emulate that a little bit. And then in college and then starting in stand up, I guess like I would, emulate that on stage, but like the stage confidence came from just getting up so many times. I mean, my first 4 years I was doing like 500 open mics a year.
my God,
I
it's
was, and
amazing. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know what I was doing on stage. Now the jokes might have been horrible, but I definitely worked the stage presence a lot. Like I definitely was
yeah,
up there and comfortable being up there. That's
yeah,
all I do. So, and then the writing part just like is probably my weaker side of my stand up, that like I just kind of I write on stage, but I write in notebooks, but I kind of just do what works. Once
yeah,
something works, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that again. You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's like
Because
I'm
you've
not
written,
one of those guys who writes a joke in a notebook and goes, "Wow, this is gonna kill." Like, I don't know. Like, let me go see if it does. You know what I mean? Like, I
I
have
think
to.
that's so smart too, because you've written some of my favorite jokes. Like even like I love the one of you being in debt versus in like I'm butchering it now, but the in love versus in debt.
When she broke up with me, she had a great excuse. She was like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, there's a difference, stupid. I used to wake up every day and see a future with you, and that was me being in love with you. I don't feel that way anymore, and I think it's time for us to move on, but I'll always love you as a person. I was like, that's like me saying I'm not in debt, but I have debt. Like, I can't walk into a bank and go up to the teller and be like, listen, I got a lot of debt with you, but I'm not in debt with you. She'd be like, what are you talking about? There's a difference, stupid. I used to wake up every day and see a future with you, and that's when I made payments, and that was me being in debt with you. I don't feel that way anymore, and I think it's time for us to move on. So I'm going to stop making payments, but I'll always have debt with you.
And like the public proposals.
Good one. Oh yeah, the public proposal. Yeah, those are some of my stuff I don't do anymore. But like yeah, I remember. Yeah, I mean, that just come to you. I don't even
Yeah,
know how it happened.
yeah. And I think that's really smart because I write all the jokes first and then I perform them, and then it like one joke I was like, this is gonna kill. Like I was so proud of it. Just silence, like could not. I was like, damn it. Like so I
Yeah.
think doing it on stage is much better.
Yeah, I mean, like that's kind of like I'll have a bit and I'll have an idea and then I'll do it on stage, and then if I do it how I wrote it, it will be like it won't feel right. Whereas if I riff it on stage and then like kind of like make it seem conversational, then it works better for me. So I learned about like how what my flow is, at least like how to flow a joke. Like,
Yeah.
so, it's like, whereas like, someone, like that in-depth bit that I used to do is
Mhm.
just not something I would do today. It's
Yeah.
just too written. It's like too like it's too wordplay. Like I have to say it, and it would take it like what my act is today. If I did that joke, it would still do well. And I've done it where like now during this quarantine, if I have to go do like a 35 to 45-minute set, I might do it because I just don't have enough material right now.
Yeah, it's
I
hard.
only have 25 minutes. I only had 25 minutes because I got rid of all my old stuff. And I
Mhm.
only have like 25 minutes and I haven't been able to build more. People are like,
Yeah.
how have you not written more? I'm like, just the way I write is on stage. So I don't write a lot unless I get to go up like 5, 6, 7, 8 times a week. So
Yeah.
um, but I feel like it's a different style of what my stand-up is now. I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes
I,
sense.
yeah, of course. I don't know if it's writing, but just the way they all come together is great. Like,
Yeah, I've always that's actually not hard as it might sound, but I always just take like if I have some strong stuff, if, like once I have
Mhm.
like a strong 5 or 8 to 10 minutes, I build out. I just go outwards,
Yeah.
whether it's before or after. I just stay in that theme. So
Oh,
like if it's 10 minutes and like right now the 10 minutes I'm talking about is like being 36 and I'm at the right age to get married, and a lot of my friends are married and they have kids and wanting to have kids one day. And why do I want to have kids? Because when I was a kid, I used to dream about having kids, and then now I'm just building outward with ideas that fits the same thing, so that it's all like a little small story.
yeah. Oh,
That
that's so interesting. Yeah, no, I was like, oh,
and
that's great.
I always like that. That's not everyone's style.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, if you watch some of the greats, they're gonna be like, if you watch like Bill or Chappelle, they're gonna be like social justice warriors, or like Bill will kind of is social commentary on like whatever's going on in the world, but then he has a little bit of his point of view on other stuff. But like then you might have like an Anthony Jeselnik type of guy, and then you
Yeah.
might have like a storyteller guy like Bert Kreischer or something. You know what I mean? Who
Yeah.
just tell these long-winded stories. And then me, I'm just kind of like, I just found my style, and I kind of want to have like a themed set.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
like
that's
I
great.
want to get off stage and people be like, "Oh, that's the 36-year-old that's not married yet that will be married one day." Like something, I don't,
Yeah.
because that's true what my life is right now.
I know. No, me
Yeah,
too.
okay, so like I just talk about myself. Like I don't watch the news. I don't really know about politics. I'm not gonna do Trump jokes. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like just don't care about that yet. And
Yeah.
one thing that is my passion aside from stand up is sports, and that's not funny. So it's like I'm not gonna go up there and talk. And also I'm it's not relatable. Like I'm closing off half of the audience if I go up there and start doing sports jokes. Then like
Yeah.
just talk about my personal life. That's really it.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you. So a lot of people say comedy comes from pain. Is that why Dolphins fans are really funny at
That
all?
could that could be. I wonder if that's why I am a stand-up. That could. I mean, you would have some sort of experience outside of 4 years ago, so you would have known, but you got lucky 4 years ago.
I
And
know.
so,
Although
uh,
our team is such a disaster right now. Like,
yeah, it's
it's
really bizarre what happened. To win a Super Bowl and then 3 years later the coach is gone,
yeah.
your quarterback's on his way out. It's just like you would have thought, oh, we have a little dynasty, we could go here.
I started doing sports jokes and no one laughed. Like everyone was like all about Star Wars, and I was like, how are there not enough sports jokes in sports?
It can work on Twitter, it can
Yeah.
work on Twitter, and like you can like do like sports videos and stuff, but it's just like I even would try to like riff some like recaps of like the Miami Dolphins and stuff, and it wasn't really funny. It was just me being like just analyzing the game and stuff, and I just do it for myself. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'd love to like I dream of like just being a stand-up comic that's big enough to where like I'm on First Take. They're like, so what do you think? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've seen like my buddy Michael Rappaport is like
Yeah.
I've said to him, I was like, bro, I would love your career. Like you're sports adjacent. Like that's
Yeah.
all. And you get to act and you're doing stand-up. Like you get the best of all worlds. Like that
Yeah.
would be awesome.
Yeah. Do you want to go into like TV too?
I dabbled in it. It's just, you know, how many people are excited to put it on there right now. So
Yeah.
it sounds horrible to say, but I mean, it's just hard to get the right reps.
Oh yeah. No, And
I mean, no, I like doing it all. I mean, now I'm comfortable enough in my own skin to be like, if it's something I want to do, for sure. I thoroughly the times I've done acting, I enjoyed it.
yeah.
It was
Oh,
like
that's awesome.
it was a lot of fun. So I mean, yeah, I'll do anything if I think it's fun. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what it's ultimately about for me now. Is just like I just want to have fun,
Yeah.
and I'll make some money having fun. But like, I would sacrifice money if I knew it would just be like a lot of fun
Yeah.
to do it. But like, I don't care. I just want to go up on stage. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done like exhausting myself about things that are out of my control, which
Yeah.
a lot of people spend their first even maybe 10 years in this business, like worrying, or how do I do this, how do I get this, and it's just like, just just do you,
Yeah.
and have fun, because I don't know, I mean, not to sound crazy, but you could die tomorrow. Like, you don't
I
know when,
know. No.
you don't know when that's taken away. So
Yeah.
in the meantime, like, I just want to, like, okay, where's my next set, how do I
Yeah.
get up and enjoy this? I mean, this last year has been pretty humbling. So
Yeah. Well, because I don't know if you feel this, but I always feel like with comedy, I was trying to go like 100 miles an hour and be like, I have to post this video, I have to do this set, I have to do this material. Like every night I have to go up on stage. Like, so when the
yeah,
pandemic hit, I was just like, what do I do now? I have no life skills. Like, what do I do?
yeah, that, I mean, I felt that too, and then I kind of felt that with social media, and then I had to dip
Yeah.
back to that, and now it's just like, all right, if I went a week without posting, fine. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just like, I'm not gonna post because I feel like I have to post.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to keep up. So it's just
Yeah.
like,
Is your family funny? I know you have a family, like you have a family. Like,
you have family. I was not created. I was. Born. I know some people think I'm a robot that was
yeah.
built. No, my dad has a sense of humor for sure. My dad has a sense of humor, and then I think my mom's very likable,
Yeah.
and she's really good at like she's good at like making friends. So I feel like I got that from her,
Yeah.
and she's likable. But my dad is too. But my dad definitely has a sense of humor. It's definitely the artistic creativity side is from my dad.
Yeah. Was
For
it a
sure.
big change coming from Florida to LA? Like I know climate's similar, but
Um, I mean, yeah, climate. I mean, but that's
it's like the least
it's
important part of anything.
yeah, it rains a lot less. Like, obviously, it doesn't. It rains a lot in South Florida. Yeah, it's definitely eye opening. I mean, time. It, a lot has changed in the last 11 years. I've been here 11 years. Like, I just thought I didn't. You know, I feel like the internet wasn't the way the internet is today. So I
Yeah.
left Florida kind of in a shell, thinking like, oh, life's great, and then
Yeah.
you get to LA, kind of as an eye opening to what the world is really like, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. But I don't know if that's LA or if that's just because of how much access we have to everything on the internet now.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm not really sure what made my point of view on life different, if it was because of the way life is with access to everything on the internet, or if it was just how LA is. And but now being in LA, it's LA is, when I first got here, I was very like judgy of it, of like, well, there's a lot of different people here. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's like, there's a girl with pink hair,
I
and then like a guy with tattoos all over his body, and then there's just every ethnicity, and then that just, I just made it sound like I'm racist, but
no.
like, and then they're just like then there's like, what is that guy wearing? Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, there's like, where in South Florida, I felt like everybody was the same.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So, and then I feel like that's everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere you're from, everybody seems like to have the same swag, and then you
Oh,
get
yeah.
to LA, it's so different.
Yeah.
And now when I leave LA, even when I'm gone, I have to be back in LA. Like, I feed off of the energy here, like the
Yeah.
vibrant, like, creativity of the city.
Yeah.
Like, I love New York, and I love when I'm bouncing around doing shows in New York. I love that energy and that hustle.
Yeah.
And my dream would be able to like go there for like 3 months a year in the summers, and like just bounce around doing stand up, and then but still
Yeah.
live in LA. But like, I love LA now. I'll always be here.
I
It
know.
like
Yeah.
grew on me.
Yeah. I thought I would be here. I was like 1 year. They're all going to be like into crystals and hippies. No way. And I love it. And I'm like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
getting into crystals like Craig and all the rocks and?
Well, it's funny you say it. He gave me. I traveled with this. This was in my travel bag.
Oh my God.
So this is a crystal that Craig gave.
No, he like said it so eloquently because I was like, I'm from Philly. I don't know any of this stuff. Like I just know sports teams. Like
Yeah.
I've never met anyone who does this. And then he said it so eloquently why. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. Like maybe I should order one. What am
Yeah,
I doing?
I don't like he says that. I don't really listen, but I
Yeah.
just took it and I roll with it. So I
Yeah.
have to admit that because
Yeah.
I know that if we're traveling or something and I pull that out, I go, look what I have. It will bring him joy. So I just keep it too.
Oh, I know you perform with Mark a lot. Is his accent real? Is it fake? Is it all? No.
Yeah, yeah. Mark is not really Irish.
Yeah.
He's actually German. He's a
Yeah.
German. Yeah, he's German, and yeah, Mark's he's good at what he does. I mean, a lot of people like him, so he's able to book these great shows. So
Yeah. Oh, that's
yeah,
crazy.
that's a skill set. I've tried running shows back in the past, and it's not something I would ever want to do.
Yeah. No. And you're not going to start.
Shout out to him for being able to put on good shows and run them. That's
Yeah.
a level of stress I don't want in my
I
life.
know. I know. Especially
Yeah.
like I including myself in this, I feel like comedians are really flaky. I just would not want to put on a show and do all that kind of stuff.
I
And
want the person to hound people to come do it, and then
yeah.
want to worry about if people are going to show up or not. Like that,
Yeah.
that's annoying. I'd rather just kind of like, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd rather be poor and
I know. So what did you learn from doing the takeover? What I really liked about your podcast too is I feel like from an audience perspective, like it felt like you really grew and you were really almost vulnerable. I don't know the right word. Like it was so
yeah.
entertaining. And I feel like a lot of podcasts aren't like that.
You watched a lot of it.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, like I just started it, and then I didn't have really any expectations. I was just going with it, and then like I think I just everything just shit hit the fan. Like I was just like, well, I have to talk about this, and like one thing after another happened. I mean, it started with the episode 1 of it is week 1 of quarantine.
God,
So I'm
yeah.
like, there's no podcast studio, so I'm gonna do this from my room. I'm gonna set up
Yes.
my phone and we're gonna talk. And I went in with like podcasts aren't funny really. Like
Yeah.
nobody watches Rogan and is laughing.
I
It's
know.
more informative. Outside
Yeah.
of like Theo's is of a funny podcast, right?
Yeah.
And when Chris was around, his was a funny podcast, and then all these other comedians podcasts are kind of just like them talking about stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to be funny. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna like try to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna talk and just share my thoughts, right? Like, okay, whatever, this is what I'm gonna share, and then kind of riff a little bit and try to like do that on stage too. So it goes hand in hand. And then I do then so much shit happened that I just felt like I was talking about it. And then I was
Yeah.
even back, I'm like, okay, if you went back and looked at the first 50 episodes, you'd be like, oh my God, like it's almost like it was therapy. It was
Yeah.
almost like I was just kind of like I had to talk about all these issues or whatever was going on, and doing that helped me a
Yeah.
lot and made me I don't know, maybe more like emotionally intelligent a little
Yeah.
bit and,
Definitely. Yeah.
and more intuitive. So I just was just like, okay, I just kept doing it. And then um it was weird. Like towards the end, maybe I felt cured or something, but I was just
Yeah.
like, all right, what's next? Like I gotta do something else. I can't keep doing this by myself. It's like it's plateaued for me, and I feel like it has for viewers. And I was like, let's make this like a hangout show
Yeah.
where I can have a little bit of those elements still. So like this newer platform I do with the Takeover is in the
Mhm.
studio. So up top I'll like still riff a little bit about whatever's going on or how I feel about something, but then I'll have these guests on, and then like how can I get some sort of emotion out of them.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be reading these like stories that I find online that I think I'll go online and find stories that like I'll be reading that like make me feel soft inside or like teary. And I'm
Yeah.
like, these are good. So now I'm gonna read those to these guys and see how they react. And then I put another aspect of it was actually my buddy Fahim's idea. He's like, you should start talking about like maybe call it like the dating detective, where people write in and ask questions about their current dating situations and try to give them feedback on it, because you're actually pretty good at
Yeah.
giving feedback on that stuff and honest feedback. So I started doing that. I just need way more emails. It's hard, but I mean, people are scared to write in sometimes. But
Yeah.
that's also another aspect of like, oh, people will write in dating questions, and I'll give them advice because I would talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. I was kind of blown away. You give really good advice. Like I've watched the first two with JT and Chad and Craig, but it was really good advice. I was like, wow, I feel like Mike should write a book about like dating advice or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm right. I'm just giving my perspective from. I mean, I don't think I'm a genius or right but I'm just like I've dated. I mean, I'm not married yet. I've dated a lot, so I just
Yeah.
have experience from. I have a lot of experience from being a douchebag, but also like thinking I found someone that, oh, could this be someone who's going to take me out of the game? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Ultimately, was it fun being a single guy? Yes, but ultimately, in the back of our mind, I would think most people are still looking for something though, for
Yeah.
some catch their eyes, and that's what I think. So I mean, I just have that perspective of like going like and then and like also going back to the podcast and going through everything and being emotionally available, and it like allowed me to meet someone. I felt like if I
Yeah.
didn't go through that, I
Yeah.
would have never been prepared enough to meet the girl I'm dating now. You know
Oh.
that,
Yeah.
that like I was just like because I was just going through the motions of like, okay,
Yeah.
let me meet a new girl, and I'm just gonna try to sleep with this girl. Like that's the
Yeah.
next. Like okay, it was like almost like I used to objectify women, and I just wanted like okay, nah, she's fine. She's not really doing it for me. And I would keep
Yeah.
going. I was going through the motions, and then one of them just like really caught my attention. I was just like, oh, this is what I've always been looking for. And
Oh.
now that I identified that that's what that is.
Yeah.
Even going forward, God forbid, this
Yeah.
didn't work out. I would know now if I was single what's bullshit versus what's not, and
Yeah.
be like, oh, this
Oh.
this is what is important to me. Like that. That's a connection. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So just um, having that knowledge, I guess, could help other people.
Oh, definitely. I feel like that's so relatable to like for men and women. Like,
Yeah, yeah, I hope so.
yeah. And then I remember Bobby Lee said some story about you guys at a restaurant in Florida, and like some type of photo. Was that real? Or I don't even remember it all.
That was like when I was like 2 years in. So I was like I said, I was like lucky enough to like get in pretty quickly. Like I mean, Bobby was
Uh,
let me open for him, and I was like not even a couple years in,
it's
and
insane.
he tells this story. He's told a couple stories about me on his podcast, and then like his fans like run with it like he hates me. It's
I,
so it's like
he
they'll like
always says, yeah, he always says how much he likes you too during the stories.
yeah, and then they'll comment on all my stuff. Like they talk shit to me. They'll DM me. It's just like I mean, I have enough people talking shit to me online, and it's just like adding to it. And it's just
Yeah.
like I'll just get random notifications. Someone commented on your last YouTube video, and it's just some you suck. Bring Bobby Lee his stool or something. I'm like, okay, thanks, man. You made my day a little bit worse. Eventually your skin gets so thick, and you're like, you just start to giggle. But
Yeah.
then, I mean, I'll answer the question, but before it's just funny, like when people talk shit to you online, like,
Yeah.
you, like you'll just be like, okay, fine. Eventually you feel that way, but then sometimes someone will say something and you'll be like, you fucking motherfucker. Like,
Yeah.
I'll get so mad and I'll be like, some stranger just ruined my day. Like
Yeah.
I woke up and read a notification and it ruined my day. Like if I have a bad day. And people
Yeah.
are like, why do you let it bother you? He's like, you don't know what that's like. Unless like unless you're a part of the internet, like you have no idea. Like even if someone's listening, like and I would talk about that on the podcast, they'd be, what do you like? Like you have no idea. You're like a fucking sales rep
I
in
know.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you woke up to like anyone just saying something about your art that you went on stage and you're vulnerable about, or you're putting yourself out there, and someone's
Yeah.
like, "You suck, just quit now." You're like, "Bro, no, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna." But also, ouch.
I know.
Like, why do you do that? Like, I really want this to be great, and you confirmed my insecurities.
I know. No, it makes me feel better because that's how I feel too. And I get so angry. And then I'm like, why am I letting this guy ruin my, like, but I can't help but be angry. And I don't know.
I've wanted to say really bad things to people, especially if
I
they have
know.
a public profile. Like, I wanted to like go find, like, I remember one time some guy talked shit to me and I went to his profile and it was public, and like 4 rows down he had a picture with him and his mom saying like, "I miss you, mom, and I'll never forget," like, and I wanted to comment, I'll be like, "She's better not knowing." Like, I wanted to like really, like, I wanted to say some
Yeah.
of the worst stuff ever. I wanted to comment on that picture
Yeah.
and say the worst things to him so that he could just relate a little bit.
Just a little. Yeah.
I can't, because then what if he like I don't know, screenshot and be like, "Look how bad this guy is."
I know.
But I'm like, bro, you have no idea. But anyways,
Yeah.
we're in Florida, and I was with Fahim was featuring. I was hosting. I'm from there, so
Oh,
Bobby
yeah.
was like, "Yeah, you can host," and because it was like a homecoming for me,
Yeah.
and he was. We were doing a show. We went out to this nice dinner with the radio guests that he had done. They're like the big radio disc jockeys or whatever they are in South Florida, whatever they're called. And sorry to sound disrespectful towards what they
I know. I don't know either. I'm like, what?
So they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to this dinner, Runway 86 or something. It's off of like Runway 84 or something. It's a really nice Italian restaurant, and it kind of in downtown Fort Lauderdale. And we went, and it was a great dinner. They gave us Dan Marino's table, and it was fun. And
Yeah.
it was a cool time. And then afterwards, they're like, "All right, let's do a group picture." And then we're all standing there, and there's a beat. This is what he doesn't say. He just like makes it sound like I'm a.
Yeah.
There's a beat. You're standing there, and we're like, "Okay." And then the one guy we're with, he's like, we're standing there. And he was like, "Oh, let me grab that thing." And he's like, "Let me get you to come take the picture." And then Bobby's like, "No, Michael, you take the picture." I'm like, "What do you mean? Why? He's gonna get that guy. Why do I want to take the picture? I want to be in the picture.
Yeah.
I want to be in this moment." And he goes,
Yeah.
"Take the picture." I was like, "What?" He said he's getting the guy. What do you want me to take the picture? That's all I said. And he goes, "Are you kidding me?" And I go, "What? He got the guy." And then the busboy came over and he took the picture, and then the guy took the picture, and then Bobby Lee like scolded after that. He's like, "If I ever ask you to take a picture, you take the goddamn picture." I was like, "But I wanted to be in that moment." I was like, "I'm not going to be in that moment. Like, that's not."
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "I'm part of it, and you're going to take me out of it because of some like ego thing that you
Yeah.
want." My whole thing is like, "Oh, you just wanted to like that's part of hazing me and stuff." But like, I was part of that. Like, I wouldn't do that to an opener.
Yeah.
I would know how much it meant for him to be in that picture.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Was I a stubborn, like, would 90% of the other comedians probably have been like, "Yes, sir," and taking the picture? Yes, but that's not me. So
Yeah.
I
That
still
makes that makes me like you better though. I like love that.
like, "No, man." And then it's funny, he talked about that, and he sent the picture in a text like 6-7 months ago, and I have like such an old picture. It's like 2012.
Oh my
Crap.
God.
So I'm gonna post it, buddy.
And did you really have a scooter when you first moved to LA? Was that
I had sorry.
no.
I had a yeah. I mean, my car was parked on the side of Hollywood Boulevard, and some drunk person hit it and
Oh
ran.
God.
So it was totaled, and then I was literally getting to leave to go do the gig
Yeah.
with Bobby in the picture. So it's 2012. I was leaving Thursday, and this happened on a Wednesday. And I was like, "Okay." I just told the tow truck company like they could just take the car and give me like $500 for it because it was
Yeah.
total. And then I flew away, and I was like, I can't worry about this. I'm going to do like a huge road gig.
Yeah.
2 years in at the time, I thought it was the biggest deal in the world. Looking
Yeah.
back,
I can't imagine 2 years in doing that too. Like that's really impressive. Like, dear God.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't because of my talents. It was just because I think how I was like making friends with people, I guess. And then yeah, so then I came back and I was like, I can't afford a car, And then
Yeah.
so I just bought this scooter that was like $100 payment for
Yeah.
3 years, and I would drive it around to like all. I put 10,000 miles on it.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
That's amazing. But yeah, I didn't have a car in New York and I was there like 8 years. I had no idea how expensive cars were and everything. It's like, what?
yeah,
How do people do this?
yeah. New
But
York, you need one, but
yeah,
LA sure needs something. And
yeah,
I had a scooter and I survived it, thank God.
yeah.
And then it's funny, like last year, I actually I always had it, and I
Yeah.
sold it to actually another comedian reluctantly because I was scared to like sell it because I'm like I don't want to like be the reason someone gets hurt on this
Yeah.
because they're dangerous, and I sold it to him for like $400 just to like get
Yeah.
me rid of. And then he texted me actually ironically 2 weeks ago he fell on it and broke his ankle.
Oh my God.
Oh
Not funny, but oh my God.
yeah, and I was just like oh
Yeah.
yeah. So I was like oh no. I was like, well, I'm glad you didn't die because I would have felt the guilt. But
Yeah.
but I was just like, this is why I was like, just be very careful on these things, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited. You're going to Austin and Las Vegas. Is it coming up?
I'm
Or
going to Austin next Friday. I have a show in Austin. I don't even know the details of it, but it's in
that's
Austin.
exciting though.
Yeah, yeah,
Like you're traveling. I'm so jealous.
yeah. Whatever, and yeah, whatever. And then Vegas, I'm doing Vegas March 11th through 14th at the Laugh Factory Vegas. So I
Oh,
think the Austin show will be fun. The Laugh Factory is kind of spread out, but whatever. I just want to make money to
yeah.
like feel like I can pay some bills.
I know. Well, it's crazy. It's been like a year. Like I thought this would be a month at
Yeah,
most.
yeah,
Like
it started a year almost.
it's insane.
March
But
will be a year. Yeah.
or do you do new material like for these shows, or are you gonna do? 'Cause
Uh,
how do you do?
no, I'll know that I can get to like 25 minutes,
Mhm.
and then I will, knowing that I will kind of go on stage and start riffing as much as possible up top.
Yeah.
For the Austin, for the Vegas shows, I only have to do 25 minutes, so I'll be fine. The Austin show, I'll do like I know a few people there, so I'm gonna book like 4 or 5 comics, and then just try to do like 35 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
It'd be like 20, 25 minutes, and then I'll riff a little bit, and then I have some older stuff I can do that's not online.
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything that I have online already.
Yeah.
Not they have millions of views, but I don't know.
And you're not gonna move to Austin, or I feel like everyone's moving to Austin now.
That's what they do. I'm not gonna move to a city because 3 comics did.
I know. So glad you said that.
Not gonna like the opportunities will always still be in New York or LA.
I know. Yeah. That's how I
I
feel.
mean, if you're doing it temporary, fine, because you can get more stage time, sure. But
Yeah.
I also feel like I have to be here, even if I'm not doing
Yeah.
anything. I at least organize not doing anything here.
Yeah. No, exactly. Thank you so much for doing this. You're so funny. I
Oh,
I can't
dude.
thank you enough for everything. You're amazing. So I hope I can see you perform live soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hit me up when you're in LA.